Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here at SMPTE 2019, and to my left I have Jack Watts and Tomasz Witkowski.
Yes.
I did it.
Perfect.
I did it. You guys, before we're going to get into the session that you literally just came here from, let's talk about when you both joined SMPTE and why it was important to become part of the organization.
So I joined SMPTE, if I recall correctly, I think it was 2008 or 2009. I was originally a service engineer in Ireland, working within 35mm projection equipment, and I was in the middle of that transition over to digital cinema, and my brain was like, I need to find where all the documents that stipulate where this stuff works and how I should be actually learning it properly, and that's what sent me down the path to actually finally unveil where SMPTE was, became a member, and then from then it kind of gave me the source material as to what I should be actually focusing on when it comes to implementing solutions and learning things.
So are you still based in Ireland?
No, I'm Irish, but I'm based in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're part of their, what do they call them, their local
The UK
chapters?
section? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you're part of that. And then Tomasz, you're also based in the UK?
So I'm based in UK, but I'm from Poland.
Yes.
So I joined SMPTE in 2008, very similar like Jack, but he's younger than me.
Ah, yes.
So
you guys are helping to bring the demographic
actually,
down.
it's a very
well done.
very weird story because it's actually 11 years when I'm as a member.
So you were young when you...
So I joined and support the UK section.
Yeah.
So we actually created this UK section with 100 members. Then now it's a 500 members. However, on the meantime, I was initiating a Polish chapter as well.
Oh, very cool.
So with Jack, we were working on some of the projects already for SMPTE. So we were working on the SMPTE-DCP.com.
Okay.
Just to work on the transition from Interop DCP to SMPTE DCP.
Yes. Which
Maybe
is
you want to say something.
Yeah, I mean, that's, in case you're not aware of, that's basically the theatrical format for exhibition that is widespread now and adopted.
Yep.
You know, as I mentioned, there's no more film. It's predominantly digital cinema, and that's the actual carrier format to which projectors and servers reproduce your images in screen. And we've done many talks together, and also I have actually visited and done talks underneath the Polish section as well in Warsaw, when it comes to educating people, not just on SMPTE DCP, but also on IMF. And it's this kind of common interest and passion that we both have that kind of leads us to working together quite frequently within the industry, be it doing presentations or just generally helping people and wanting to educate people.
Yeah.
Because often this information can be quite difficult to find if you're not fully aware as to where to look and how to especially interpret a standard. Because that's my area of what I focus on specifically within SMPTE is standards participation.
Okay.
More so than some of the actual other avenues or the pillars that SMPTE represent. I'm very core on standards participation and bringing that awareness to people of my age and younger.
Leveraging an automated VFX pipeline for creating downstream masters. Did I get it? Sorta, kinda.
Yeah, sort of. But it's okay.
It's close.
We'll get you off.
A little bit close. Thank you. Okay, what was it about?
I'll start with something that everybody's aware of when you talk about, say, Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and now Apple Plus and Disney Plus, all these platforms that people sit and consider home or go to the theater to consume content, all the versions and everything and the work that goes into creating that content that is viewed around the world has to start somewhere. And we're just highlighting the rapid advancement in which content is now being created and the pressure on the people that are processing this content through the various post-production pipelines like visual effects, editorial, localization and distribution are constantly being faced both from a technical level and a business level to deliver. And we're highlighting the disconnect of the workflows and trying to, again, bring people or present people concepts that they can leverage to really synergize their workflows internally and between themselves, how to interchange this information to get to the end delivery point, which may be your Netflix or your Amazon platform. Tom has done some extensive work in the company that he's in right now from a post-production perspective. And coming from my background as well, from the previous companies that I worked at, about Technicolor and Deluxe, we kind of met in the middle, and this kind of concept was born.
So we were talking about entire media flow, content flow. So we tried to explain that mezzanine format is very important and keep all the information is very important. So we had one slide which was saying content life cycle, or really recycle, avoid the waste.
Yeah, reuse, recycle.
So it was sort of like infinity sign. So it was two circles combined together. IMF was on the middle. So on the left side of the circle was a processes for the production and the pre-production. On the right was a processes for the distribution and analyze distribution.
Okay.
So it means that somehow you need to combine all this metadata what you're receiving and keep it in one place. So we said the IMF is actually a good place for keeping that. So, and this could evolve to the good like bucket where you actually keep all the information. Just avoid the waste of the metadata. So my company, back to your question, we're working on some tools on the cloud,
Okay.
which we're doing this long time. However, it's so many, like at least 5 years. People now are aware of the cloud. Everybody is using cloud.
Yep.
Which is amazing. Even recently a movie labs. How it was called? Future
Content creation in
Future
2030.
content creation. Exactly.
Yeah, for 2030, and it is cloud.
So they
based,
describe
so-
that everything will be in
yeah.
the cloud, and the entire idea of workflow will be there in the 10 years, which is fantastic. I recently with Richard we wrote the article as well, fundamentals, in the SMPTE journal actually in October, and we wrote an article about ideal media workflow on the cloud, and then challenges which is there. I mean, on the beginning we were thinking, yeah, cloud is all right. What's next?
And what kind of feedback have you guys been getting about it?
So people are in early adoption right now, or they're evaluating the opportunity to eventually move away from their existing what's known as on-premises or hybrid-esque workflows, which are people that are in a building physically and may have some conduits out into cloud storage or for cloud compute processes. But one of the fundamentals is that at the end of the day, this is a business, right? People are trying to make money and get revenue in, have a turnover, and because of that disconnect, it's costing a lot of people money to actually, like facilities and people that operate in this space and creating these versions and working on all these titles. It's costing them a lot of money to actually meet demands, where their revenue streams may be either very, very slim, where profit margin is quite tight. So the whole focus of this is to showcase to people the best way to go and get the best bang for your buck, so to speak, and how you should actually start within your workflow. So it's kind of like us attempting to kind of bridge that gap between the engineers and technical folk who can often as well still be disconnected from the money decision makers and the accountants and the managing directors or CEOs that handle the books and greenlight the actual strategy or the funding to initiate a technical strategy. So that's kind of where we're kind of trying to position this message of how we communicate the adoption of these formats, such as IMF being one of them, and the actual power that it actually has when it's adapted correctly.
Well, what's next for you guys in terms of getting this story out? You're talking again at another SMPTE event?
I mean, this story in this case, what we were talking today, it was very specific. So we use the 3 different technologies. We use the 3 different workflows in there. So we were looking on the VFX pipeline, but in the purpose of this paper, we were looking only on motion graphics for the purposes for localization and versioning. So that's one, it's a clear thing. Otherwise, we can't go to the VFX, whole VFX world. Then we were looking on the Coral pipeline, and how the color information can be stored in the mezzanine formats as well. And then we were looking on the open timeline.
Ultimately, the message is ongoing. So right now, this is we have done some talks in the past at IBC, and you can't scare people away. So it's an incremental message with a little bit added in every single
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
And we'll probably rehash this and adapt it and update it to suit the market come in London maybe in the new year.
Okay.
And slowly but surely try to get it across. And also, you know, where Simply is concerned, they also have various partners across the world in other organizations and other technical working groups. So a lot of it is to kind of, you know, take this message out, get kind of feedback and get kind of use cases from people and their thoughts, and kind of then dovetail that back into some of these technical working groups, so that again, when it comes into the standards participation, the publication of these standards that governs the implementation of this technology, we're effectively capturing and satisfying the industry's requirements and not bottlenecking things, so that prevent things to move forward.
I appreciate you coming here right after your session. And where can people find out more about your session and just?
So if they've been on the conference, they can actually go and download the paper.
Okay, good one.
So otherwise, they just need to reach us.
Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm Randy Altman, SMPTE 2019.